The Galactic Interspecies Training Academy had watched countless alien species learn to fight, survive, and grow stronger. But humans were always the most unpredictable part of every training program. This high-risk combat test was supposed to go exactly as planned, following the same rules and outcomes everyone expected. But it didn't, because the human reacted in a way no one in the galaxy was prepared for. Instructor Valara, a veteran trainer who had spent decades teaching cadets, from across the stars, could normally sense danger before it even appeared. She understood fear, aggression, body language, and conflict better than almost anyone alive yet today. All her experience felt useless. If this combat demonstration went wrong, the consequences would be serious. Someone could be injured, the program could be shut down, and the academy could face a major investigation. Every cadet watching believed the same thing. The human would be the first to fall. The combat dome was filled with nervous energy as cadets from many different worlds gathered to watch. In the center of the reinforced arena stood Arya Chen, young human woman wearing a standard training suit that looked a little too big on her small frame. She looked calm, almost relaxed, even though she was facing something that made even seasoned soldiers uneasy. Across from her crouched Kor, a young Frathkar predator whose species ruled the top of the food chain on 17 different planets. His black claws scraped loudly against the metal floor, each one sharp enough to pierce ship hulls. For eyes, arranged neatly across his angular head, focused on Arya with a level of intensity that made the crowd shift uncomfortably. Kor was only 6 months old in human terms, but he was already as tall as Arya's shoulder. Adult Frathkar were 3 times that size and listed as dangerous apex predators by the Galactic Council. Cadet Jixler, a Polonian with long, trembling tentacles, whispered, "This is madness. Humans are a prey species. Category 4 on the durability index. That cub could tear her apart in seconds." Instructor Valara spoke through the comm system, her translator humming as she tried to maintain control. "Cadet Chen, you may cancel the match at any time. Kor's inhibitor will activate instantly if you feel threatened." But Arya's voice came back steady and almost amused. "Thanks, instructor, but I'm fine." Kor began to move. It wasn't. The slow, careful walk of an unsure creature. It was the bold, confident stride of a natural predator, one who had never known fear or failure. His muscles shifted under his dark fur like living shadows, and a low rumble rose from deep in his chest. That sound alone triggered instinctive panic in most species. On the observation deck above, the room fell silent. Several cadets quickly activated their anxiety suppressors. One Trilaxian simply fainted, its crystal-like body dimming as it collapsed. But Arya didn't move. She stood with her feet balanced, her arms loose at her sides, watching the young predator with a calm focus that made Instructor Valara uneasy. Valara recognized that expression. She had seen it many times, but never on a species considered prey. It was the look of a hunter studying another hunter. Kor closed the distance quickly. 10 meters, 5 meters, 3. Then he lunged. The jump was unbelievably fast. Frathkar cubs could reach full sprint in less than a second. His jaws opened wide, showing rows of sharp teeth meant to crush reinforced bone. His claws extended, catching the light like curved blades. Every instructor on the deck reached for the emergency shutdown at the same moment, and then Arya laughed, not a scared laugh, not a hysterical one. A bright, honest laugh full of excitement, like she had just seen something wonderful. She stepped aside with a smooth, fluid movement that didn't look human at all. Kor shot past her, missing by centimeters. The rush of air from his leap brushed through her hair. As he passed, Arya reached out and lightly tapped no, actually booped his nose with one finger. Kor tumbled to the floor in shock, more surprised than hurt, his 4 eyes wide. Nothing had ever dodged him, nothing had ever touched him during an attack, and nothing had ever made that strange, human sound laughter. Kor's confusion lasted only a moment before his instincts kicked back in. He let out a snarl, a deep, echoing sound that had evolved to freeze prey in terror. The sound. Waves rippled the air, and even the observation deck's windows trembled. But Arya only grinned wider. "Nice try," she said, her voice steady and amused. She didn't step back. She didn't raise her hands. She simply met his eyes with a calm spark that the Galactic Council still struggled to understand. Was it bravery, madness, or something in between? Kor charged again, this time angry and determined. But the energy had shifted. It wasn't hunting anymore. He was trying to make sense of what was happening. Arya dodged easily, spinning lightly as if this were a dance instead of a deadly training match. She tapped the side of his head as she passed him. You're getting predictable, buddy. The observation deck erupted into chaos. Cadets shouted in 17 different languages. 3 more fainted. Instructor Valara hovered over the shutdown. Control, but something stopped her. Arya wasn't fighting for her life. She was playing, and after failing a third time, Kor realized it too. He sat back on his haunches, head tilted, confusion replacing aggression. Arya approached slowly, her hands visible, her body language soft and relaxed. She pulled something from her pocket processed. Meet a human snack called jerky. You know what your problem is? She said casually. She tossed the treat, and Kor caught it, without breaking eye contact. Everyone tells you you're scary. They see the claws, the teeth, and they run. But humans, we domesticated wolves. We made friends with things that wanted to eat us. It's kind of our specialty. Kor chewed the jerky, processing the strange truth in her words. Arya sat cross-legged on the floor, making herself small and harmless. So here's the deal, she said calmly. You can keep trying to scare me, or we can be friends. And friends. She held up another piece of jerky. Get treats. The massive cub hesitated, then slowly walked over and flopped down. Beside her, nearly landing on top of her, Arya laughed and scratched behind his ear, right where his species liked it most. The rumble in his chest shifted, and the translators took a moment to identify it. Kor was purring. On the observation deck, Instructor Valara finally found her voice. Someone explained to me what I just witnessed. Cadet Jixler, still shaking, whispered the only answer anyone could agree on. Humans. That's what happened. And no one argued with him.